Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another series of stock views. Today, I picked up a couple of stocks, mostly around retail space. Why did I pick retail? I was just going through some of the data analysis and found Target was behaving in an upward trend. I thought maybe something is going on the retail, but there's nothing much on the retail space. But this particular stock was slightly in an upward trend. So I thought I can just group some of the related stocks together in this session. It's been boring always looking into some of the tech stocks and AI and other stuff. Sometimes they move. Market is heavily relying on some of the AI and tech stocks, but at the same time we also lose context on some of these good solid foundational companies. And some of these companies I picked up for today is Target, Walmart, Costco, and Amazon. And I have a couple of ETFs also covering the retail space for today. The first stock which I want to cover for today is the regular Spider ETF, which gives you what's happening in the market right now. That's the first thing I do in when I start my stock analysis. Looking at the Spider, same, nothing much changed from last week's video to current week. I could see that the trend is always upwards, and then it got a pullback, came back again, May time frame, and then from then it is in a churning mode, which means it's in a sideways movement. Why it is sideways? I think the message is same. All investors are waiting for some kind of rate cuts to come. Probably that could kick the price movement upward direction again. So nothing much has changed from the Spider from the market trend standpoint. So things are moving in a kind of stable sideways movement. People are keeping cash in the sidelines. They want to look at how Spider is behaving because some of the major companies are in this Spider ETF. So if things are moving in upward direction, you probably see people bringing in cash again and investing back into the market. So that's kind of the summary of Spider. So the next stock which I'm looking at, it is the Spider Retail ETF, which basically combines all the big leading companies, retail companies in this ETF. You could see pretty much if I look at some of these trends here, it was in the base and it actually came out of base November 2023. That's when the trend was moving upwards. It's basically the seasonal activity it is. Most of the retail space, they tend to bet on heavily on the holiday market. Consumers will be buying stuff in the holiday time frame, so heavy purchases are happening. So that is kind of a seasonal trend which we see. I think it's pretty much acting the same way. You can see that November time frame is when it actually came out of the base, which is kind of 200, just came out of 200 moving average. Then after that, it is trending in the upward direction. And if you can see, some of these trends are a clear cut, a cup and handle model. You can see a cup and a handle, and then again a kick in the price a moment, and then similarly another cup, and then we see another cup movement. But this time the base actually, the handle has actually been very steep, which means that maybe the consumers are not very much into the retail side of it. Basically they are bringing down the price, and at the same time you can see that the RSI movement is also downwards and coming back slowly. I'm expecting some kind of churn similar to this pattern, some kind of churn in the sideways movement, because not much happening in the retail space right now. All companies are have declared their earnings, and now they're waiting for the next holiday season to kick in. So this particular phase is kind of in a slow phase for them for now. Looking at some of the trends, and you can see that it was doing well in 2021, came down, kind of a downward trend, then stayed in the base, then slowly it is picking up now. So hopefully in the year end, you could see the price movement in the upward direction. So keep an eye on it. Again, it also depends on how consumers are going to spend in this holiday time frame. It is too early for us. We're middle of the year, so it's too early for us to predict what's going to happen in end of the year. So we will wait and see how things move on the retail space. It also depends on what Fed comes up with. And if the Fed is not cutting down the interest rates, then the spending part of it will go down. What it means to the retail space, again, if the spending goes down, people are not going to buy stuff in some of these big companies, right? That basically the outcome I see. But we have to wait and see how the Fed reacts, and then after that, the investors an investment approach on some of these retail companies. This is another ETF. We have its Vanwick retail ETF. Similar trend. You could see that it is in an upward trend till March, and then after that there was a pullback. Then it is staying low for now. I'm expecting some kind of downward movement until the holiday season comes back again. My kind of analysis based on the technical, what technical is showing right now is that there is some kind of downward trend or sideways churn for some of these retail stocks. And looking at the ETF, this particular ETF has major contributors. There are the Amazon, which is around 21% for this particular ETF, Costco, Walmart, then Home Depot, Lowe's, major retailers are part of this ETF. So if you want to invest on retail space and you don't know which top companies to go, you could probably put money in the ETF for now. So it is in a churn sideways movement, and the technicals are also kind of not set properly for this ETF. And you can see the 20 days moving average is slightly lower than the 50 days moving average, and the price has actually gone down less than 20 days moving average. 150 and 200 are aligned properly. So I'm expecting some kind of churn to the sideways until it 150 and 200 catches up. And then once it hits, probably by the holiday time frame, it can kick back in the upward direction. So nothing major on this space. So the next stock which I want to talk about is a company called Target. This is the primary company showed up in my data analysis. I was looking into the RSI indicator report, and this particular company was showed up in multiple reports as the RSI was trending up as well as the price movement was also in the upward direction. Looking at the report, they recently declared their earnings on 22nd. That's when the price started trending upward direction. They had kind of a similar year-over-year report. Nothing fancy about it. They are growing in 3% every year, year-over-year. Their sales were slightly off this time, close to 2% off, but they are making some measures to get that demand back again. They're cutting down some of the prices for some of the groceries and other stuff, which could companies expecting that the price will some of the traffic will increase, which could also lead to higher sales. So we have to wait and see how that measures are going to impact their next quarter earnings. So we will keep an eye on that. But looking at the chart, pure technicals, there was a good trend upward direction from last November, October onwards. That was a bull trend, and after that we had a stagnation, then a downward phase. There was a slight pullback to the closer to the 200 days moving average, and then after that the trend was going up. So if you look at it, this is actually a downward movement. So looking at some of the technical analysis, the price movement is going to trend downwards. That's kind of the movement I could see looking at some of those historical data as well. We have to wait and see how investors are going to react. It is an earnings time. You might see some of these stocks will spike up. Gradually they come back to their mean revision state, which I'm expecting somewhere in this part. 146 is what the price which I'm looking at it. So it should go up, come back again down, and stay below the price movement. So if the one key indicator which I look at it is there's a trend here. Looking at the trend is kind of in a downward trend. Definitely, if the trend break here, if the price moves above the current trend, then I would consider this as a trend breaker, and then it will come into my watch list. And then I will closely monitor this particular stock. So I want to wait and see whether it breaks that trend. So that's kind of my indicator. So the trend for now, it seems like going down. Looking at the technical indicator too, you can see that the 50 days moving is in the downward trend. 20 days is also downwards. Kind of 150 and 200 still not reacted yet, but I'm expecting that's basically slowing down too. So it is coming down until the holiday comes into the picture. So we have to wait and see for this particular stock. Looking at the RSI is in an upward trend, so I'm expecting some more movement upward direction, and then it should hit somewhere around 60 to between 60 and 50 phase. That's the key part where it could churn, and then gradually go up or down based on the demand. In addition to that, looking at the volume was kind of in an average phase. The last trading day was around 7 million shares were being traded. People are buying stuff. Maybe people are excited about some of the upward trend. I could see that all are green bars, which means that people are buying, investors are buying. But in general, looking at it, there was a spike on the earnings day, which is around 18 million shares purchased. Then after that, gradually the purchasing has come down, kind of buying stuff has come down. But in an average, you could see around 5 to 6 million shares are getting traded. The last session was 7 million. So people are buying this particular share, this stock. Definitely keep an eye on it. We could see a positive momentum, and slowly it should phase out as the retail earnings are over. So we have to keep an eye on that. The other related stock which I wanted to look at it is Walmart. We covered the target. Now we're looking at the Walmart. Walmart is again similar trend, but it is in a kind of step mode right now. I like the step mode because you gradually have that stagnation phase or a base set, and then you increase the price in upward trend. So looking at the stock, you can see there was a good trend, holiday trend. Then after that, a stagnation period, and I've kind of put down a rectangle box here. The price was just fluctuating there, and then it came out of the box. That's when those are my indicators. So there's a resistance and support. That's basically what reflected here. Once it came out of the resistant part, that's when people have invested money in this particular stock, and then gradually it went up. Recently, they declared their earnings too. I think that was one of the spike here. The price went up, and then now it's in again in another resistance and support layer. So it's going to basically churn inside this layer, then until we hit the holiday period. So the price movement is kind of in a step model. So we can kind of upward direction, then it stayed low, then again went up another low, then probably will gradually go up. So that's what the trend which I see. Looking at some of the indicators here, the RSI is kind of in an overbought phase. I'm expecting some kind of churn here, should bring down some of the demand back into that 50s range, and then it should churn. And then by the time holiday comes in, should come back gradually going up. So that's the trend which I see. The the setup wise, moving average are all lined up properly. Even the 200 days moving average is also in the right place compared to other stocks. You can see that the 200 days, 20 days is greater than 50, 50 greater than 150, 150 greater than 200. So this is kind of a right time, kind of bull kind of model, or in an upward trend model. All are pointing upwards. So I'm expecting some kind of churn probably once it gets out of this resistant layer, which is kind of 65, 66. That's when I could look at it, put some more buy order for this particular stock. So keep an eye on it. Volume wise, pretty much stable. Average around 20, 25 million shares are getting traded. There was a spike, which is again, people started taking the profit out as it actually came out of the resistance. That's when they started uh, taking some profit out from the stock. That's why you see this more sale on this particular day, which is again was an earnings day. So they declared a very good earnings. Again, this is another stock. Look at it. Another stock related to retail is Costco. Costco has been an evergreen stock for us. Looking at some of the trend, it was a classic trend. You can see a step model. At the same time that it is building the cup and handle model to gradually, as well as some of the head and shoulder model to patterns too. So it was kind of trending in the right direction. So the stock was around $400, somewhere around $400 per few years back. Then to 2023 was a big hit for this particular stock where the price actually appreciated very well. You can see there was a pullback and then gradually up again. It went into a stagnation period between March till May, and then after that the price again moved up to the upward direction. So it is trending in the right direction. Obviously, you could see that it is in a overbought phase. I'm expecting some kind of churn to come down. Maybe the price movement will be to the sideways and then gradually pick up closer to the holidays time. So keep an eye on it. This is a very good stock, evergreen stock. Always buy in a smaller portion. Whenever there is a pullback, buy a little bit of it. So keep investing on it, and this stock will go up definitely. Looking at some of the volume space here, the last trading day was around 4.3 million shares being traded, but in an average, you're looking at somewhere around close to a million stock, uh, close to, sorry, 2 million stock. So if there's a spike in the volume, keep an eye on it. That the investors are excited, they're buying. So you can see more buys are happening. Recently, when it was on the sideways churn, you could see there were more sells happening. So that's kind of a pullback. I would say those are good opportunities for you to put some money back into the company. So keep an eye on it. This is trending in the right direction. I'm expecting this should go again, find another new highs here around 830, 840. It's going to be the next high. It should be in the sideways churn until the demand comes to a reasonable place. Then after that, it should pick up again the demand. And you should see that's the break point where it exits the resistance, and then you should see the price moving up. Again, some of this particular stock has been always doing well. They have a very good management, good fundamentals. The stock, the company has been doing very well. Their products are good. Customer 100% rely on them. So all the positive sentiment is around the stocks. Always around this particular company. Always look for those type of companies, and I think people are going to stay loyal to this company. Uh, that's the key thing for the price movement too. So they trust this company. Price in an upward trend, it will gradually go up to the newer highs too. The next company for our discussion is Amazon. Amazon is another retail company. Their primary business is retail, other than the tech part of it, the AWS. They are in kind of in a stagnation phase. They had a very good trend past past 6 to 7 months because they were part of that bull run. The price movement was very good. It was very tight price movement. You can see that the growth is so granular. Some of these things are, people have invested heavy money in this particular company. Their company was not, their sales are doing well, but in general, they're kind of struggling in this whole competition, AI competition too. I'm not sure what are their new products which are going to come out. We have to keep an eye on that. So for past a few months, they've been trending in a sideways direction. I'm expecting this trend should go the same way. The resistance is somewhere around 180. Their kind of support is somewhere around 160. So I'm expecting some kind of sideways churn here. The demand has also gone down, so they're kind of in a overbought where people are kind of holding it for some time. I'm expecting that once the demand goes down, you tend to the price will also tend to go down. So that's kind of the trend I see here. Looking at some of the technicals here, 20 days is higher than 50, 50 is higher than 150 and 200. So the setup is right, but there's no positive news coming out of this company. Their retail space is good. If you have recently seen or if you have done search in the Amazon app, you if you're searching for a shoe or a dress or some cosmetic, the companies which they are rendering on those search results, you have not seen those companies, you have not heard about those companies. Those companies are, I don't know whether they're getting a higher margin there. Maybe that's how they are publishing those companies in those search results. That way people can pick up. But if you're very familiar with some of the brands, and or if you're used to some of the brands, then customers tend to stick to those brands, and you don't see those brands coming up in the search results. Their their search results are so bad. Maybe that's an indicator for people to just move out from the search, and they're looking at in the web internet directly rather than searching in the Amazon app. Maybe picking up those products from the general search from the regular search engines, and then searching for those products directly in the Amazon app. So where good chance that their margins for some of these well-known brands are pretty low. Maybe that's why they're not promoting those products higher in their search results. They're trying to get higher margins by getting some of those unknown brand names there. So we have to look at it, see how well that strategy is working for them. Other than that, there's nothing much in this company. It's been in a slow pace right now, very tight accumulation, tight price movement, and I'm expecting some kind of churn to go in the direction until we hit the holiday time. So keep an eye on it. From the technical standpoint, again, RSI is very low. Volume, you're looking at 58. The last trading date was 58 million. In an average, around 30 to 40 million shares getting traded every day. That's kind of the trend which I see. You're looking at same model. People have invested in this company for a very long time. I know the price movement is very tight. There's no positive news coming out, both on the technology front as well as on the retail front. Probably retail is their base. It's earning income for them, but we are expecting, I think, as an investor, I'm expecting some good news in terms of technology side too to show up in some of these reports. So if you look at some of the earnings reports, pretty flat. Nothing exciting about this company. But we don't know. These companies have generally taken a stagnation period. Usually that's a phase where they try to go look into their business model and see what could lead them to this particular success, right? Probably there are a lot of smart people in these companies, so they could come back with a different strategy or different product or an exciting product in the consumer space, and then they could regain that the whole the positive momentum back. So I'm expecting some kind of growth pattern, some kind of churn in this phase to understand what their next plans are. We don't know whether those discussions are already happening or not, but as an investor, I'm expecting some kind of retrospect for their business that is happening in parallel. So let's wait and see how these companies are, how this particular company is going to do in the future. But overall, looking at some of the stocks we have seen Target, we have seen Walmart, Costco, Amazon. These are some of the big giants in the retail space. Out of these four, the recent trends, Target has been moving in upward direction because of the recent earnings. Walmart had a really good earnings, 14% growth year over year, which is pretty much what uh, the investors are expected. They have delivered it, and I'm expecting the same earnings in the next year too, maybe slightly growth. Costco has been doing phenomenally well. Yes, the price have hit the new highs right now, and I'm expecting some kind of sideways movement, and then the price should just go up again. So if you are investing on retail space, keep a watch on Costco. Their price movement is very good. It is always in the upward trend. So if you're trying to accumulate in a smaller portion when there is a pullback. So you will some of these good stocks, you will have a gradual pullback on and off. So take advantage of those pullbacks. Amazon, I'm not sure about where the Amazon is trending right now, but the setup seems to be right. It is going in the sideways moment. The setup could be that the investors have invested too much money into it. Even the institutional purchases or buys are also there. So they're all expecting this company to perform well. Hopefully, we will see some new things in the future, but we have to just keep an eye open on this one. So overall, this is what I wanted to cover for the retail space. Thanks for watching. Please tune in for more videos in the future. We're going to cover more stocks, industries, and sectors. Thank you.